Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining me with one of my favorites videos that I do every month. Just this is the August or July or August monthly update. I always get we're August monthly updates, and it's where I go through and just talk about the new things that have happened. Try to keep my hands down so that I don't get yelled at, and just kind of really just get hyped up by what's been going on in the Reach world. So going to go ahead and start. And first thing I start with always is actually give it product updates. There are going to be more things than what I'm going to talk about right now that went through, but these are really the highlights, the things that actually that I personally have decided like has the most weight. So one of the great things that you can now do on Reach in both Ethereum and Algorand is you can actually mint tokens from inside the contract itself. This was a very important feature for our AMM DEX, and we now have that ability. And the other feature that I'm really excited about that was important for the DEX is being able to cache network queries. And what this means is that behind the scenes, the Reach client pulls down transactions from the blockchain, so that when you do queries on them, rather than having to query directly the indexer or the blockchain itself, it stores those in cache, so it's much faster. And that was also another very important feature for the AMM that we're rolling out. Jay put out a feature that many people out there have been requesting. And what this new feature is real-time timeouts. So rather than deciding timeout in a X number of blocks or what have you, you have the ability to set timeouts in real time. So you can say that I'm going to send Michael 10 of this coin, and if he doesn't withdraw in 2 days, it returns back to me. So rather than before you had to actually kind of estimate, it's like, okay, well, in 2 days, that's going to be this many blocks, so the timeout will be this long. So now you can go ahead and just actually use real time, and it's a lot better of a developer experience and makes things much cleaner. As a lot of you know, the AVM, the Algorand virtual machine, has been updated to 0.9. We have now use all of the great new features of AVM.9 and compile to using those features. There's a lot of actually work that went into that, because one of the major differences now is that with the old AVM, back when it was just called Teal, we had to actually split transactions into or split contracts into multiple different contracts to fit within the restrictions. With the AVM updates, it allowed us to actually remove they removed quite a few of those transactions. So now when we compile to Teal, we output one contract rather than multiple. So that was actually a lot of work, and great job, Jay. Jay did a lot of the work there, but a great job to the rest of the team to actually support him to actually release that. We now do a better job at contract verification. Now, what this means is that when you're using a decentralized application and you want to guarantee that the interface is actually connected to the correct blockchain, we now have the ability to really guarantee that the interface that you're communicating with is with the exact same contract than you want it to be. So it's much more difficult for somebody to sneak a contract in and make you actually use the wrong contract. So that's great. And of course, we talk a lot about JavaScript syntax, working with JavaScript. One of the things that our developers did this month is now we can interact with TypeScript as well. So we're kind of expanding the languages that we can communicate with. And as always, error codes, being able to catch when an issue happens and be able to debug is very high on our list of things to do. And we once again spend a lot of time providing better error codes to make sure that when our developers build something that doesn't make sense or the verifier doesn't let through, we're very clear, or trying to get more clear exactly what's the problem, and link to more resources to make sure that you have the ability to change it and make it work. Conflux is one of the chains, one of our premier partners that we work with, and we've been working very hard to be able to make the full integration. We are like 95% of the way there. There was a couple of features that we need to ask our friends over at Conflux to change to actually make it reach 100% compliant. They've actually already done those features, and we're waiting for them to hit production. And we're going to make a few tweaks, and then we'll be fully compliant with Conflux, which most of the time, like when you're building applications, Reach and launching it on Conflux, you wouldn't fall into these or stumble upon these features. But we like to be completists over here, so we're very close to 100%ing this game. So we're really close to that. And then while all of these features, we decided that at Reach that it's time to finally bump up the version number. So we've been at 1.2 for a very, very long time, and now we're finally at 1.3. And so make sure that you update, make sure you take advantage of all these great new features. So those are the product updates. Once again, I'm sure I've actually missed some, and there's been a lot more actual work that gets done. But those are the big high-level highlights. And as always, you can check out our change logs if you want to dig down deep into knowing exactly what was actually changed. Moving on to the business updates. We did a lot of hiring, still have a lot more to go, but we've brought on 3 new product engineers, Mohammed, Shike, and Brady. So Mohammed is in actual smart contracts. We want to bring somebody in that has experience with writing Solidity, writing on many different chains to make sure that the chains that we actually output are as optimized as possible. So we're super glad to have him on. Brady is a Haskell specialist. He's been a lot of time in his life learning Haskell, so he's gonna be working on our Haskell code and our compiler. And Shike, who is not officially part of the team yet, but everything is actually ready for him to come. But once he joins, he is going to be focusing mostly on the debug tools. And there's actually some really great things I'm not quite ready to talk about yet, but when he starts building those things, it's going to be extremely. One of the things I'll say is, like, with this debug tools, there will be no doubt the best way to write blockchain applications in the entire space, including all potential tools out there. This debugger that he's going to create is really awesome. So that's the product engineers that we brought on. We brought on the new head of engineering for specialty product. What specialty product is if you remember from previous updates, we are starting to build the most popular DeFi and just blockchain applications under our own roof. Eric Stone has been brought on to lead, be head of engineer for those projects, and we're really excited to start showing what he's been putting out. And of course, we're still hiring. So please come join our team. Please fill in the holes that we have, and help us change the world. So those are the hires. We've actually had two promotions this month as well. One of them being Tim. You've heard Tim. Our team gave him shout outs for how well he's been performing. Well, it was time to actually promote him and actually give him more responsibility. So he has moved over to a product management role, and he's going to be working directly with Jay to make sure that now that we're hiring all of these engineers, that all the engineers are working on the right projects, all the features. And so he's going to be kind of organizing that. And Shanti, who has been actually promoted to the director of operations, and she's been doing such a amazing job with operations. We decided to give her even more responsibility and take more work off my plate, so I can start doing more like big relationship and big idea stuff. But so she's probably not watching this because she's actually on vacation. But leave some comments or anything to say congratulations to her, so that when she does eventually watch this, she can feel good. Moving on to community updates. This part on my document is by far the most filled out because Michael's the one that builds this document and he is really big on the community. So I'll have a lot of details to give you about this part. So back in May, we celebrated 1,000 developers, which was amazing. In the last month, June, we said, hey, we hit 1,400. We are maintaining our growth. We are about to hit in the next couple of days 2,000 developers. This is not like people that read a tweet. This is someone that has gone in, compiled an application. So we are still maintaining this growth rocket ship, and it doesn't seem like we're slowing down. And that is purely because, honestly, it's because you guys. Yes, we're working to build the best product we can. But you going out there, you telling people, you repping Reach. When people have questions on our community, you're answering the questions, and so thank you guys so much. Of course, shout out to the team. This is literally the best team in the entire world. I think it's scientifically proven, but I think it's also scientifically proven that you're the best community in the world as well. So there's no reason we won't be able to be successful. We're smack dab in the middle of a bounty hack. This one is put on by Conflux and focused in China. We started out, I believe, with I think around 26 or 28 teams, and we're halfway through, and 22 teams are still actually involved. That is bonkers. That we're still that many people are teams are still involved from the very beginning. Usually with hackathons, you start with 200, 300 people, and then you finish with 10. But this one where people are sticking with it, they're really loving it. One of we did a survey through, and out of the 22 teams, by the way, this is not 22 individual, 22 teams, I think it's something like 85% have said that they're going to continue to build applications with Reach after this is over, which super excited about that. Demo day for this is going to be on August 20th. That's a Friday. Because this is a Chinese focused, we've been I haven't been doing it. Tim and Ivan have been converting our tutorials and just our videos into Chinese, and they're being thrown up on a site called Bilibili, and Michael recommends that you all check it out because it's wild in the best ways, he says. So even if you don't speak Mandarin, go check out our spot on Bilibili. If you haven't watched it yet, which I'm assuming you all have, is that we started actually a new video series. This is both a podcast that's on Spotify, and it's going to be on most of the individual podcast providers, I'm sure, eventually if they're not there yet, but also on YouTube if you want to see our face and, as somebody said, me move my hands around while I talk. But Better on Blockchain is Jay and I. The Jay's the CTO of Reach. And we talk about different industries and would blockchain really make them better? And if it would make them better, we actually go down deep and talk about how we would structure and build a company. And then at the very end, we would talk about if we would actually invest in that company. The first episode was focused on ride sharing. The next episode I see here says coming out on Monday. Good job, Michael, for being able to roll it out that fast. But next Monday is going to be about decentralized Twitter. You hear a lot about decentralized social media. And we decided to tackle that and say, okay, is it really better on blockchain? What are the downsides, and what could we do to make it better? Cool. All right. So those are all of the major updates with Reach. I hope there's a lot of questions coming up. But before we get to the questions, I really want to acknowledge some of the team that really stood out, really have been busting their butts, and the other team members have wanted to give them a shout out. And starting with Brandon. Brandon's our head of partnerships and just head of sales and marketing and all of the business stuff. BB has actually shouted out for this, started working with each other about with partnerships and PR, and they've just been doing great. So great job, Brandon. Next, I would like to shout out BB. So BB has been kind of focusing purely on um, events. Where can we actually go and make sure that we have a presence there so that we can get more eyes. And Tim has shouted out and said, "Great job, BB." So I see you actually in here. So great job, BB. And then finally, and definitely has been doing a great job just all around. And Brandon gave a shout out to Michael for his work on the Better on blockchain. I mean, Jay and I, we do the easy part. We just sit and talk in front of a microphone, and then Michael took at that and gussied it all up and made us actually look good and turn it into a podcast, turn it into the video series, and put a lot of the flashing lights and, like I said, made us look good. So great job with that, Michael. I see you there as well. So give you the thumbs up. And then so that's it. So those are all of our updates. Those are the monthly acknowledgments. Next month, what the big things that we'd like for you to see is I plan on giving you a demo of our AMM. The idea is that I want to do to launch the AMM on a testnet, and I plan on doing a Chris Coin IDO on the testnet. So if you want some Chris Coin, you can participate in this demo and then buy it and get your algo, your testnet algo, and do some swaps. And I don't know what we're gonna do with that Chris Coin, but it's gonna be awesome. So pay attention to that, and you'll be able to see that demo. The demo day for the Conflux Bounty Hack, once again, is on August 20th. So make sure you pay attention. I've already actually seen a few projects that are coming out of that, and they're really taken to the next level of the type of project. So make sure you pay attention to that. And the other thing that Michael's been working on is building a swag store and a merit badge system. So this really is all about communities and really making sure that we reward you all for, and then just say, hey, we really appreciate you. So we want to make sure that we create merit badges, and then make it so that if you want to actually rep Reach, you can get the shirts or magnets or whatever else we throw up on the actual swag store. So now we're to the great part where it's a interactive piece, and I look to see if there's any questions. Goodness, look at all those all that chatting going on. Michael, how about you? Did anybody ask any questions? You ask them to me, and I'll answer. Yeah. All right. Well, nice. All right. Well, I will look around then to see if I can if there's any questions. All right. Well, thank you, BB. I mean, if it was up to me, they would all be rolled out, because like I'm always do everything 10 years ago type of person. But so we talk about their AMM. That's our first specialty product. I know that we're building this in the lot, like in the open, and people can see what we're doing. But we're going to brand it. We're going to go through an entire branding process. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, give it a name, give it a look and feel. And our goal is that hopefully this month we, like I said, I'm going to do a demo on the testnet, but that will be a command line. Hopefully we'll get some type of web interface on the testnet this month as well, with the idea of eventually going live by the end of September. Of course, one of the things that we're waiting for is that, since we're going to be launching on Algorand first, we are kind of waiting for the AVM 1.0 features to come out to make sure that we have the best user experience that we possibly can. So I can't really say that it's a definite date when we want to actually roll it out, but we ASAP. But after that, the question is, what do we do next? I mean, we plan on doing a lending platform, a stable coin. We are looking into potentially doing a custom wallet that will have all of the DeFi apps kind of built into it. So there's quite a few products rolling out, and which is why we created an entire department, so we aren't distracted away from also building the Reach features. I mean, you're 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 making me leak all the alpha. So yes, we're expanding our communities not just in Africa but multiple countries in Africa. Expanding in China. I mean, our Chinese community is growing tremendously fast. Australia, we're most likely going to be doing a bounty hack there to kick off our community over there. South America, I think we have like two different bounty hacks lined up for South America alone. So like we're BB, we're not gonna be able to sleep for a while. If that's okay with you. But yeah, we're going worldwide. Sure. I, I need a better one. Need one that can actually be here more often. My wife is like the most amazing woman in the entire world. That's watches the kids while I work 24 hours a day. But when I'm actually gone, she probably need a little bit more help. And so if you know anybody, just hit me up in the DMs. But yeah, we are waiting for the pandemic to calm down. Make sure the virus hopefully probably maybe not goes away, but not as bad in the rest of the world. And I personally set up all of my frequent flyer miles and everything, so I'll be doing a lot of traveling and hopefully doing a lot of talks in many different conferences in the near future. Okay. Wonderful. All right. Well, uh, if there's any other, we'll give it a couple more minutes while see if anybody wants the last question in. But if there is no other questions, the main thing here is, as always, Reach doesn't exist without our community. And so, just a big heartfelt thank you from me and from the entire team. You guys are really putting in the work. And if you want to see more of these, if you want to see them, want me to answer different questions, different format, please comment. Please like and subscribe, because the more people that like and subscribe this, the more people get to know us. Bigger we are, the more people we can hire, and eventually, as always, take over the world. So help us take over the world, please. Doesn't look like any other questions snuck in, so I think that's about it. Thank you, BB, for the help. Michael, I'm sorry your computer froze up. We need to get you a new one. Maybe one that's not ran by a gerbil. So, so thank you so much. And Chris, signing off.